Hello, everybody. I would love to welcome you to Eat Art Space, a pop-up dining room gallery in Appalachia. Tonight is our sixth artist talk and live opening, and in just a few minutes, we are going to have Alice Salyer and Sylvia Lane joining us to talk about their collaborative experience during the pandemic. The mother-daughter pair made art together, and so all of the pieces in the gallery tonight are collaborations between Alice and Sylvia. And very shortly, they should be hopping on here to tell us a little bit more about their eco prints. I know that they've used repurposed cyanotypes. They've printed using circuit boards and soap. So a lot of this work is about making the best of a situation and also using the tools that you have available and the people who are around you, which is all kind of my favorite like underground art stuff wrapped up all in one. So let me quickly check the feed here to see, hopefully they're going to find us. But I would love to share with you our food feature for tonight because I have actually made 2 trips to go and pick up goodies from Lazy Lady Bakes. She is actually doing Thanksgiving pie orders this year for folks who are maybe not as motivated to cook, or maybe like you don't want to do all of the cooking this year. So here we go. Alice has just joined, so I'm going to suck her into the feed here, but we are going to see. I know that Sylvia is on her way as well. But Lazy Lady Bakes is an independent, woman-owned bakery in Johnson City. This is just a small thing, sampling of what she does. She does scones and little, I guess I call them like little cakes and cookies, but she does like pies to order and everything else. So that is what Lazy Lady Bakes is all about. She operates out of a commercial kitchen, and there's a retail space that's going to come to downtown Johnson City in they're hoping to open later this winter at the beginning of 2021. So I'm waiting for Alice to be able to join, and I've just seen that. Let me see if I can try this again. I'm going to grab these 2 ladies here as I poke around on my phone. Looks like I'm having trouble with Sylvia. Sending an invite to Sylvia, sending request. But either way, I'm going to take you on a tour around the gallery for right now. Oh, and look, there's Alice.
Hey, here I am.
There's your bed.
Oh my God, there's me. Actually, this is the spare room.
Oh, it is.
all the clutter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so cool. It worked.
Okay. It did work. I'm trying to figure out how I can add Sylvia as well.
Okay, did she request?
She did not request, so, and now I'm
okay, I just texted her
all right.
I think how to do it.
All right. I feel like every live feed has this moment where it's like, okay, I got to figure this out. But either way, maybe you can give yourself an introduction here. Like, tell me who you are and like a couple sentences about yourself, and and then we can dive into the work a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. Well, hello, I'm Alice. Happy to be here today. I am an artist and educator from Johnson City, Tennessee. I teach graphic design at ETSU, and I work in many different media. What else?
What else? Okay, well, how long have you lived in Johnson City? Have you lived anywhere else? And how does that inform your work in any way?
Well, it does inform some of my work. I grew up in Kingsport, actually, and I lived in Roanoke for a little while. Part of my family is from Lee County, Virginia, and that definitely informs quite a bit of my photography work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be seen so much in the work we're talking about today, though.
I see. Well, and that's a topic of conversation. So how about I take a quick tour around the gallery. I think in a few minutes, Sylvia, if she's still on and she can hear me, I might try to restart going live with you just to see if maybe I could pop on with her and have her answer some questions separately. Since
That
the
sounds good.
three-way doesn't seem to be working as well as I thought.
Okay,
But
I will check in with her while you do the tour.
all right, that sounds good. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and you can tell me a little bit about each of the pieces and the various media that you used and what it felt like to make them. So here we go. At least I'll start with some of the things that I know we're working with you. And I see that Alice is spinning a little bit, so I'll start with this piece on Yupo paper. All of these pieces are matted. Some are 11 by 14 and some are 16 by 20. This is a circuit board print. I'm going to see if I can grab, oh, there's Sylvia. I cannot seem to make it go the way I want it to. This is a print on Yupo paper with some ink, and let me see here. These are eco prints over here on this side of the gallery, and I am going to try to awkwardly go live with these people, but I cannot select. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, folks. Are they unique objects or are they prints? They are unique prints. That is a wonderful question. Each of these is made with household objects and items and like just repurposed cyanotypes and other materials. Alice and Sylvia, yes, they are all unique prints. While I am working on this, feel free to answer questions in the comments. This is not letting me answer requests, and I can't tell if it is my phone. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pop on with Sylvia here. So these are all unique prints. They're all one of a kind. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi.
Can you give me a few sentences about yourself and how you came to this work, this collaborative work with Alice?
Yeah, I'm Sylvia. I'm a studio art major at Hollins University up in Virginia. I started this with my mom out of boredom, and I missed making things, so I didn't really go into this with the intention of like showing them. I just wanted to do something with my mom in quarantine.
And had you ever worked together before?
Not officially. If you call working with my mom me being like, hey, can you look at this real quick? Like, that's working, but nothing like this.
Nothing like this before where you were making alongside each other. So had you done any other kinds of printmaking before this? What was your background in these mediums, and what did you bring to the table there?
I have done screen printing. I took a screen printing class. I loved it. I love printing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun.
And I love
my
printing too.
Experience.
So as we tour around the gallery, can you tell me a little bit about the pieces, and then hopefully we'll get Alice back on. Does that sound good?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to flip around a little bit, and because I know that this one is yours.
Yeah, it's a circuit board print with some like extra ink on top.
Mm-hmm. And as I was looking at these, they look like they're straight black, but as you get closer, there's actually like tiny metallic sparkles in it. So what is that medium in there?
I believe it's hair dye, but it was originally blue hair dye, and it just didn't take. It faded, unfortunately. But the metallic-y, like, sheen is hair dye.
And so then over here we have the one that's sort of your mom's print of the circuit board for a contrasting approach here. as I'm struggling to hold the camera steady. I don't have a Steadicam roller system in my dining room, but you know what, this will have to do. So, and then I believe, are these two pieces here, this one is yours as well?
Yeah, they're both mine.
Tell us about this one.
I wanted to see what would happen if I just like created bubbles with like Dawn soap and like forced them to dry really slowly. And that gave this like cool, weird, bubbly effect.
Yeah, they're very, to me, they feel like alien worlds, or maybe, like frog spawn.
Yeah.
These very organic detail. And so I'm guessing then that explains a lot about how these dried very slowly. And so these are actually kind of watermarks, like the histories of watermarks. Oh, that's so
like
cool.
reverse growth rings.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's fabulous. So tell me a little bit more about these guys. Do you know about these?
Those are my mom's.
The eco prints. Because I know that is there a difference between this process here and then what I know is yours over on this side over here?
Overall, the process is the same, but after you take them out of like the dye that they're in and like unwrap them, I used more watercolor on mine than my mother.
I see.
But that's like the only difference.
Well, and so let's talk a little bit about that, about how what did you notice about each other's working styles, and what did you discover through these processes that you maybe may or may not take into other projects or other work?
I've noticed that my mom is a lot more anal about things. And yeah, and she's really quick at the same time. Like, somehow, I guess it's practiced that I don't have. She can really quickly just like pump stuff out and they just end up looking great. And it takes me a lot longer. I'm a lot slower at making things.
I'm not sure that that's exactly what she told me, so this will be interesting. I'm gonna have her pop back on and then tell her, ask her what she thought about working with you and see what that's like.
I'm sure it's different.
Yeah, the perception and the reality is always a little bit different. So I think you also had a couple of pieces that were a little unconventional in how they were put together, and so we're gonna I have this this section of the gallery in front of me right now. Here, I'm gonna flip over here. We have this piece in the corner, which is in 4 sections, and I was curious to know what your thinking was behind those. Was this originally a print that you tore up? Tell me the story.
They are all semi-failed eco prints that I decided to just put a whole lot of random watercolor marks on there, and by chance they just ended up like this, and I kind of just put them all together because I like the flow of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the texture is really a lot more. How layered are these in comparison to, say, these guys?
A lot more layered. I know that one specifically, because there's so many layers of plant in the dye process, it looks a lot more layered, but it's really not. It was mostly a one and done thing with a little bit of work afterwards. But the set of 4, there was a lot more watercolor layers that went into it.
Now, can you tell me a little bit more about the eco-print process itself? Your mom, Alice, was telling me a little bit about how there are eco-print purists, that she calls them, that don't like to add stuff afterwards, and the two of you decided to totally ignore that. 100%, going to add crazy things to it. And so what does that look like? What's the process like for these?
Well, it all starts with going into the yard and grabbing just random plants that you think would like work or look cool, and cutting up some old cyanotypes and layering paper, plant, paper, plant, paper, plant, and bundling them up tight and putting them in a big pot on the stove with like Rit dye and turmeric, stuff like that.
So these are actually inserted into a boiling pot of water.
Yep, with a rock on top to keep them down.
How long do you leave them in there?
My mom could probably answer this better than me because I don't really remember, but I think they're in there for about an hour. Like it takes a hot minute.
Yeah, you got to let these things bake and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And once they're done boiling, you have to drain it all, and then you lightly rinse them out to get rid of all the plant matter and stuff.
So you start with plant and you end with print, basically, is what happens. Okay, Alice is in the comments is saying that it takes a few hours. I'm sure she can tell us some more things about all of that.
Paid more attention to that than I did.
So what did it, you mentioned earlier that you just missed making stuff. Do you have, you're at school now. Do you have access to a studio now? Swamp debris, she says. Swamp debris. I'm sure it smelled great too. Do you have access to those things now, in the time that you're getting an education in this strange world for college students?
I'm really, really lucky, and my school is all women's, and it's really, really tiny, so we are able to have in-class classes, and I can still have a professor come up and help me with my work. I can still use classrooms and have available space to work. It's really, really nice. That is one thing that really bothered me in quarantine, especially having to finish off last semester in the basement because I had a painting class, and it's really hard to set up a whole oil paint studio in the basement with no room.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine. And also in the basement, you're smelling turpentine and things if you're doing oil paint.
Yeah.
Although they have those lovely mineral spirits. Sylvia, are you going to be joining us for the Facebook Comment Fest? That's awesome.
Yeah, I should be.
Okay. I want to share some of the other prints, and I'm going to tour around the gallery some more. So there are so many of these eco prints and Yupo paper masterpieces that you all created. And I wanted to let everybody know on the live feed that Sylvia and Alice have priced these very affordably. They are all under $50. They come with the mats. And my fine self here at Eat Art Space can ship them to you, USPS Priority Mail. If you guys need holiday gifts, or you just need to decorate your home because we're all going to be trapped inside in the winter, Lord help us. And, let's fill our homes with really awesome art by some really awesome ladies. And you can purchase them all this week at eatartspace.purchase. And Sylvia, do you have any people that you would like to shout out to and thank, or friends that you want to hey, anybody that you want to give props to?
Just props to my mom, and hi to the people that I know who are in the live right now. My friends.
Okay, so I'm going to hop on with your mom so she can explain a little bit more about the EcoPrint process, and we will see you later on the Facebook feed. Sound good? All right.
Yes.
Okay. Alice, get your fine self ready. Here we go. I'm going to go and invite Alice because Alice herself is a teacher. And when you talk to her about processes and you talk to her about how to make stuff, Alice is not afraid about digging in on how the sausage is made. So I actually saved a couple of pieces for you to talk about because they are, I'd call them a departure from the other prints here in the space. They're the only two that look like them, and they really remind me of calligraphy. And you'll see why. I think you know which ones I'm talking about. These two. So can you tell us how these ones were created and what they, what your thinking was behind these ones?
Okay. Well, these two are a really very rewarding experiment with the materials. I have a graphite block. It's amazing. It's the blackest black ever. And it's water-soluble graphite, and it comes in like a little square chunk, and you can do mark making with it. So that's where the marks came from. It's very much a drawing tool. But this Yupo paper, it's basically a plastic. It has very special properties. So after you mark on it, you can spray it with water or scary chemicals like, not so scary chemicals really, but a mixture of ammonia and water, and it gets all these lovely grungy textures to it. And part of the joy of these is that I never know how exactly they're going to happen. You can kind of guide the process along, but it's, like children, it's going to do its own thing.
So for this piece, is this all of your graphite block?
Oh, no, that one's different.
No, this is different. Okay, so tell me
that one's
about
different.
The
that one's
difference
ink.
Here. This is ink. Okay.
Yeah, just black drawing or illustration ink.
Oh, that's nice. But also, is that also water soluble, or is it an oil-based ink?
It's a water soluble ink, and then after it sits a bit, we spray it with water or a mixture of water and ammonia, or sometimes dish soap does amazing things. So this is a great process for people who maybe don't have the patience for drawing today.
Yeah, it takes a lot of focus and planning to make a drawing happen, it feels like. Now, Alice, we're already coming up close to 6:30 when we have to hop on Facebook. So is there anybody that you want to shout out to, or, thank for their influence on you, or something else that you have going on that we need to know about?
Well, of course, thanks to Sylvia for being a sport and doing this and working so hard with it and having fun with it. And thanks to Joey and Greta for putting up with all the clutter and mess in the kitchen. All these were all in process. And I guess that's it. Thanks to my friends who are watching.
Do you have a favorite local eatery that I should feature next, or that you love hanging out at, or that you would love to hang out at in the after times?
Well, yeah, if we weren't quarantined so much, and we are eating out. Well, we're getting takeout a good bit. So, and a favorite would always be, I got to say, Sahib. Love my Indian food. And Red Mez is always also delicious.
Downtown.
Yeah, downtown. The downtown restaurants. Ole Guacamole, too. The yellow Mexican restaurant on South Roan.
Oh, yeah, that lovely little building.
Yeah.
That happy little building.
How does it
feel to see these guys up on the wall? Is it weird? after having
No,
them
it's
on your
nice.
kitchen table.
They're
And
much
then
nicer on your wall than just.
here's the spread. And don't forget that Lazy Lady Bakes is doing Thanksgiving pie orders. You know, I know some
Ooh.
people enjoy baking, some people do not. So Lazy Lady Bakes is here to help either way.
Yes, thanks to lazy lady. I can't talk.
I know, Lazy
Thanks.
Lady Bakes. Well, thank you for everybody for coming. All these prints are available to give as gifts for the holidays or just a gift to yourself for any time, really. Come, they're all available at eatartspace.purchase for a week. And please feel free to reach out to Alice and Sylvia with questions about eco printing and anything else that you might come to mind. They are both wonderful artists, mother-daughter pair, and thank you so much for spending time with me in my gallery tonight, you guys. And I look forward to hearing your answers to some of the questions over in the Facebook Live Q&A in just a few minutes.
See you there. Thank you for all you do here, Jocelyn.
Thank you, Alice, and we'll talk later. And bye, Sylvia.